Hello everybody and welcome to string class warm-up number 2, 3, not quite sure, but I hope you're all doing well. And as you can see, I have got my list of body parts that we're going to warm up down the side. This time we're going to work from the bottom to the top. So we're going to start with our feet. If you get your feet hip width apart and then you rock on to your toes, so like high heels, and then back down again. And then onto your toes and then back down again. Onto your toes and then back down again. And then once you're settled on your feet, wriggle your toes so that your weight goes evenly through the sole of your foot, sort of the balls of your big toe, your little toe and your heel. Unlock your knees, make sure that they're nice and bouncy. And then we have our hips so we can do them in circles, one way and then the other. And then the other way. And we can go side to side. And then when we settle our hips, we want them above our unlocked knees and our feet that are planted in the ground. For our body, I've added in something different this time. So we're going to imagine, I call this in choir, I call it monkey jump. So with your feet firmly planted, your knees nice and unlocked and your hips sort of loose, the middle of your body sort of behaves like a trunk of a monkey drum. You can look it up on Google if you don't know what a monkey drum is. And your arms are like the bits of string and your hands are like the little beads that make the noise, and they sort of gently bang onto your body, but it's your knees that are sort of bobbing and creating the sort of twist and the impetus for this movement. So your arms aren't just free and loose and just responding to the movement of your body. Okay, and if there's any tension in your arms and your back, you'll know, because you'll be sort of, your arms won't swing nicely. And if you want to be a bit more energetic, you can make it a bit faster. And then we slow down and go back to centre. So our knees are nice and loose, hips over our knees, pelvis slightly tucked under. Okay, body nice and firm. We've got our neck, so we're going to have a noble neck. So we don't want to be straining up here, we don't want to be down here. We just nice sort of thinking about elongating from the crown of your head, and you just turn it one way, led by your eyes, and turn it the other way. Nice and slowly. Don't force it to go anywhere it doesn't want to go. Here we go, fantastic. And then we have our elbows. So this is sort of following on from the monkey drum, but this time we're going to be swinging them up and back. There we go. Oh, we haven't done our shoulders, sorry. So shoulders, shrug them up to your ears and drop. Up to your ears and drop. Give them a little shake. Arms should be nice and loose. Okay, so we're going to swing our elbow arms forward and back. And then remember, we went into a mime of our instrument. So if you're a violinist, you're sort of feeling nice and heavy, like your arms are sort of bouncing on, I imagine, like a big, one of those big yoga balls. Oh, actually, I've got one. Hang on. Here we go. Saw this out the corner of my eyes. So I want you to imagine that your arm is sort of floating and sort of heavy and being supported by a sort of invisible yoga ball that allows it to be nice and floppy and to just sort of do what it wants to do. There we go. Is that going to stay if I put it over that side? Okay, so we're arms forwards and back and flopping onto our imaginary yoga balls. Cellists, again, you need to be sort of going into your imaginary cello position and just hanging there nicely. Okay, wrists. So we just very gently turn our wrists one way and then the other. And your young wrists probably won't crack like mine, but again, be gentle. Everything that we're doing is slow and rushed. Okay, and then we're going to get our fingers so we can flick off imaginary droplets of water and claw in, sort of grab handfuls of air. And this is warming up your forearms as well. So so that we get all of the muscles and the tendons and the joints that we're going to be using in our practice that do so much good work for us. We want them all nice and warmed up and relaxed. And then let's just fidget our fingers. Make sure your thumbs get involved. Right down to the base joint of your thumb. So our fingers, 1, 2, 3, we can see our 3 joints of our fingers right down to the knuckle. Now our thumb, we can see 1, 2 joints, but actually the knuckle of our thumb is down there. And this bit is a joint that works just like these ones. So we need to make sure that all of our thumb gets involved. If you've got double jointed thumbs, just be really careful with them. Okay, but that bottom bit of our thumb is a bit that we can often lock when we're holding a bow or when we're holding a violin or when we jammed it against the fingerboard. And that's the bit we need to make sure gets engaged as well. Okay, so at any point in your practice, if you're feeling tense or you know you're doing a hard bit of practice or you've been going for sort of 15 minutes and you haven't really taken a break, please dip into these. You know, check your neck, shrug your shoulders, flop your arms, put your instrument down, do a warm, you know, flop everything out and then go back to it. And actually that little bit of brain relaxation will probably, the thing you've been working on, you'll get it just like that rather than trying harder and harder. So all of these can be used. Beginning of your warm-up of your practice is a really good idea, but use it throughout your practice as a sort of de-stressor. Okay, so violinists and viola players, these ones are directly transportable to you. Cellists, I think you can definitely do the sliding one, and just a feeling of being with your left arm, being loose around the instrument, but without making any sound. So violins, we support the violin with our right hand. Cellists, if you just get into a good cello position, sitting with your cello between your legs. And then the first one we're going to do is we're going to slide up the neck of the instrument. And then violins, you have to bring your arms around. So we go finger, elbow, and then hand. And then hand comes back, elbow comes back, thumb goes back down. So if I do it from this side, we've got that lovely bit of the instrument that is, as Nicola Benji said, it's like a lovely little animal or a pet that you have to not squeeze. The same with cellos. If you're sliding, you want to be familiar with your whole instrument and not scared of going up the neck and up high. So we slide up the neck of the instrument, then violins, your elbow comes round, and then your hand extends up towards your nose, and then the hand comes back, the elbow comes back, and the thumb goes down. So thumb, elbow, fingers, fingers come back, elbow comes back, thumb, thumb, elbow, fingers, fingers, elbow, thumb. Try not to get the elbow involved before the hand has got up to the violin. So thumb, elbow, fingers, and then we do in reverse. Fingers, elbow, thumb. And then this way, thumb, elbow, fingers, fingers, elbow, thumb. Cellists, you'll be going down your instrument. And then we speed it up and we just try and keep it as fluid as possible. And nice and relaxed and calm. And if your neck is tight, a little noble neck, shrug your shoulders, okay? Violinists, it's important to keep this elbow nice and relaxed under our violin so we can do tapping on all our strings. Decided with one of my pupils to call this an upside down rainbow. So we do upside down rainbow elbow with pitter patter rain on our strings. Okay, and just make sure your elbow is nice and relaxed. Okay, so that should get your left arm all ready to play, but we haven't actually made any notes, and that's sort of on purpose in some ways, because sometimes when we're trying to make a good sound, that's where a lot of tension can come in. So we're just getting the actual body warmed up before making any noise. So now we are going to make some noise. We're going to just recap the breathing we did last time. So we're going to, remember it's choir breathing. So we're breathing into the back of our rib cage. We're not giving our shoulders up. So we're going and out. And so we're going to breathe in for 4 beats. And then on our out for 4 beats, I'm just going to play my A string. And I'm going to coordinate my breath with my bow. So in and out. In this time my in breath, I'm going to do my out breath with a down bow. Remember, I'm breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. So in and out. In and out. In and out. And in my head, I'm sort of feeling a beat of a 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what we're going to do is going to breathe in for 4, and we're going to breathe out on a down bow, and then in on an up bow, and we're going to just keep it going. So in through our nose, and out. And out. In. And out. I'm going to change it slightly, so I'm going to breathe in through my nose, and when I breathe out, I'm going to do an up bow. So I'm reversing the way my lungs are working with my arm, with my body. So breathe in and out. In and out. Feel free to move your neck and in. Wiggle your elbows and out. And in. Check your knees aren't locked. And out. So while we're breathing with our bow, once that becomes a bit more established, then we have a bit of brain space to think, is my neck locked? Are my shoulders tight? Have I locked my knees if I'm standing up playing? Have I collapsed my back? Or have I started slumping if I'm a cellist? What's my posture like? So other bits of our brain now can start thinking about those things, and this is the place where we start to correct them while we're doing very simple things. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to slightly change. We've done even in breaths and even out breaths. Once you get the hang of that, you can apply that to your scales. Now we're going to do in breath for 3 beats and out breath for 6 beats. So let's just practice it first standing. So we're going to go, first off, what is a nice way of getting a nice in breath is imagine that you've got a window in front of you and you're just blowing some steam on it. And then stop. So you blow and you stop halfway through your blow. So stop, and then your lungs are sort of feeling tight, like they want to just expand, so then just let them expand. There we go. And that is a really nice sort of in-breath, sort of, if you're ready. And now we're going to control it a little bit more so that we breathe in for 3 beats. So we're going to breathe out on our hand. Stop. And then just let your lungs relax, and that will be the feeling that we want on an in-breath. So relax. And they should just expand without you having to do anything. So now we're just going to control that bit more, and we're going to try and breathe in for 3. So stop, get ready, and in and out. In and out. Okay, so in for 3, out for 6. Because it's a slightly longer out breath, we're going to start engaging all our core muscles here to push the air through the column of our mouth. So it's a little bit more complicated in terms of our breathing. And then don't think about your bowing too much, just link it to the breath, and naturally your bow's going to slow down and do some longer notes. So we're going to breathe in for 3 and out. And in and out. So in and up bow out. And in and up bow out. Now this time I'm going to do a slightly faster down bow with my in breath. As you know, I'm going to breathe in, I'm going to do out on a down bow, and then I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to do an up bow for 3 beats, down bow for things, but it's led by breath. So we breathe in for 3, out for 6, in for 3, out for 6. In for 3, out for 6. Now I'm attempting to keep the tone sort of stable, so as I'm doing my up bow, I'm going slightly faster, so I'm going over the fingerboard, taking some of the weight out of the bow. But actually, don't get too conscious about that. We're going to be doing more of that sort of work in the bow division stuff in the rhythm section. So for now, just be guided by your breathing, and just the main thing you're thinking about is your tension and how your body feels as you're playing. So let's do this once more. So we're going to do in for 3, out for 6, but we're starting on an up bow this time. So in for 3, out for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in for 3. Out for 6. Okay, so those are some breathing exercises that you can do just after you've done your physical warm-up, to really engage your body and just be aware of any bits of your body that you're wanting to sort of grab at. Tension in your neck, tension in your shoulders, tension in your knees. Doing something really simple. What will happen is that control of the breath on really simple bow strokes will then be something that you can use when you're actually playing more complicated things. And if you realise that you're catching your breath and you're holding your breath, or you're trying too hard, then you've got the tools to be able to try and bring that into your playing thing. Actually, what happens if I just breathe out while I'm playing the whole of that long passage run? Does it relax something in my body? So whilst these seem ridiculously simple, you don't have to complicate the warm-up. You don't have to chuck it into your scale straight away. Just by doing this bit, those tools are going to be there for you during a practice session if you need them. Okay, so have fun practicing, and I'll see you later.